system.
Your world will never be the same again. In television, Odyssey, a new dimension.
Really? Only from Panasonic.
Graphic 16 from NEC.
4,000 games console.
Astro K. A professor exceeded. And below.
32600. Now get up to
CDI starting at $299.
Child Video Entertainment System. Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Always growing, always improving, always pressing forward through time, playing every video game. Welcome everyone to June 1982. That's right, it's the summer, and we've already kicked off some fantastic arcade games. Let's keep the train going. We last played Road Race for the Commodore VIC-20, which was another head-on variant. Let's press forward and see our next game. Yes, it's now time to go to the arcade again for another seminal release. This is Robotron 2084. Let's take a look at Robotron 2084. 2084, we're almost there, like in the current sense. Let's take a look at the artwork for Robotron 2084. So we've already seen lots of really amazing games this summer, like Kangaroo, Jungle King. We've seen the release of Moon Patrol. So many incredible ones. But bear in mind, those last three games were released first in Japan. So here on the channel, when we first saw them, that was a Japanese-only release. But here, this is a North America first release. That's right, Robotron 2084 by Williams. The ultimate conflict between man and machine. And then I found this one too. This was the back of one of the advertisement flyers. It is showing you a top secret classification of the robots bringing down humanity. It's all come down to this, the last chance for civilization as we know it. The last gasp of humanity. We have gone too far. There's no way back. Our technological, and so it's kind of funny to see like a story or lore involved with Robotron, but here it is. And it has the mission. It's come down to this, the ultimate conflict between man and machine. You're the only hope for salvation, and the only hope for rescuing the humans from the clutches of these mechanical monsters. Destiny is in your hands. And then it'd be really cool to have this in the palm of your hand. So here you go. This is the most classic front of the box or advertisement flyer you would have seen for Robotron. Yeah, I got to get that suit. The helmet and everything, get you in the zone to play some Robotron. And there we go, the Williams advertisement flyer. There's the example of the arcade cabinet. Oh man, played this a lot in the arcades. I first thought this was the first twin-stick shooter, but boy was I wrong. Here on the channel, we've seen several games that use two joysticks to simultaneously move and shoot in 8 directions. And so Robotron wasn't the first, but man, they got it right. So this one is, oh man, it makes me want to go to the arcade and play it right now. Look at that. The artwork is just classic. And again, this is another one by Eugene Jarvis, programmed to perfection. I'd say it's one of the last of the golden age arcade games, you know, with all the seminal ones that we've already seen. So here we go. The 2 joysticks that you're going to put in the palm of your hands. They, oh man, it just looks so good. And yeah, there's the controls. We don't need to see those again. Then we also have the arcade marquee over the top, and then another example of the advertisement flyer. Now, armed with 3 mighty weapons, your chances for success have never been better. And there's the 3 different cabinets, the upright, the cocktail, and the cabaret, I believe, or maybe that's the mini. I think that's how they refer to that cabinet. Yes, it did help popularize, definitely. So I thought this one was the first. It is not the first, but wow, it's done so well, and everyone's familiar with the twin-stick shooter from Robotron. Let's see what the operator manual has for us. So you can see at the top, the manual says March 1982. By the time the manual was released, the first release that we found that you could have in arcades was June. That's why we have it here. Let's see what they say for Robotron. Turn it on. When it turns on, it produces a sound. And yes, it does produce a sound. It lets you know. I wish all arcade games started the way that Robotron does. Insert coins, and the player controls are, you have a left joystick and a fire joystick. The left joystick maneuvers the mutant clone of our hero in 8 directions, and then the other joystick fires anti-robot laser gun in the same 8 directions. You can both move in 8 directions and fire in 8 directions. Robots are the enemy. The player, which we play as a mutant clone, I didn't know that, must deactivate 6 types of robots with the laser gun. The robots' armada include tanks, electrodes, and cruise missiles that will be deployed against the mutant. Meanwhile, defenseless normal clones must be protected by the mutant, or they will be captured and reprogrammed by the robots. So you can tell this manual was early on because I think on the system itself it says humans or protect the humans. When you get to 25,000 points, then you get a new clone kinsman. And then of course you get high score signature, move forward through the alphabet and back and put your score in there, save it so everyone can see, and then tell everyone. Tell the girls, tell your girlfriend, tell your wife, tell everyone. Yeah, very precise controls. I love it. And then this is mostly technical after that. So if the operators want to tune in, we'll we'll look at the manual again, but otherwise we're just here to play. For other versions, we have the solid blue label and the yellow-orange label. Let's go to the arcades and play Robotron 2084. Eugene Jarvis, Larry DeMar, KidVids made the Williams electronic game. This is what you see around the CRT, and you hear the opening? That's fantastic. Just imagine the very first time you plug it in as the operator and you're setting it up for your arcade and you hear that sound. Fantastic. So here we go. This is the heroes and then the all-time heroes. Save the last human family. We already got some credits in there. Coins that were put in. Do you remember in the arcade where sometimes the coins would be left in the jacket down at the bottom and you could pull it out, or someone had left credits in the game itself and you just got to push start? So I would go around the arcade and just push start on systems just to see if someone left credits in there. And over here on just above my head or by my ear is the instructions. How do you play? 1 to 2 players start. It is a 2-player alternate game, so you don't play at the same time. Oh, here we go. This inspired by the never-ending quest for progress. In 2084, man perfects. Oh, the future. You're the last hope of mankind. Due to a genetic engineering error, you possess superhuman powers. Your mission is to stop the Robotrons and save the last human family. We do look very mutant there with glowing eyes. There you go, saving the human family. And I like how they give the premise that you're the last one. There's one person. You are the one that's going to save humanity. Oh, yes, the 2 joystick setup on the 2600. We will be able to see that, yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're kind of zoomed out here. I'm going to switch the screen up so we can see a little bit better. I like to show lots of different artwork that we'd see at the time. So this one is no different. This is what you'd see in the US. And then this is the UK, slightly different of what you see around the CRT. And then if you had the Cabaret, that's what it looks like on the Cabaret system. They have the instructions at the very top. And then we also have the Cocktail, which instructions are reversed because every time you flip your turn, alternate, you want the instructions on each side. And then we also have, I believe, different ones that were set up. Oh, nice. They made it a slightly widescreen there. Oh, very cool. Variations that people made just because of the popularity of it. Yeah, we'll keep it on this one. That's pretty nice. All right, so let's put some coins in. Oh, man, I remember the bass. Here we go. Now, we are set up with the dual joysticks, but first impression of Robotron is loud, frantic. I didn't even rescue anybody, but it is constant action. Oh, the big ones took care of him. And since most people never had the twin stick game mode before, it feels very fresh and different. It feels like you have the ultimate power. Oh, they got another one. So we have different enemies that are on the screen now. The very large ones that have green box bodies, those are indestructible. Like every time you fire against them, I don't think you can destroy them. Unless there's a trick to destroying them. Oh yeah, we're down. And then as you make your way around, you want to try to capture or rescue the humans before the other robots get a hold of them. But if you do destroy all the robots that are not indestructible, then you move on to the next screen. And they always start off just crazy, frantic. It's so fun. Oh man, I love it. The action is so intense. Let's see if we can rescue the lady shopping. What are you doing shopping? And then, of course, they have destructible walls that you'll hit. Man, but take a listen to the sound. The sound is so good. And then fire up. What do you know? It actually works pretty well to put your initials in there, and then it shows up on the high score. Yes, rank 7. Another title that you can get in the zone. Play it, and you just want to improve and get better and better. One of the best score attack games ever, and you can tell that they were playing to the crowd because the high score table has really wants you to show off how many points you got in Robotron. and the ranged fire of the other robots. Crazy how fast it is. There we go. Oh yeah, the transport animation, love it. It's yet another title that we're going to see plenty of times on ports and home computers and consoles. The thing, though, is the control scheme for this is difficult to port accurately. Whenever you go to the arcades and play, the two joysticks, you feel like a superhuman. You feel like the game, how the game is describing you. And so whenever you go home, it's difficult to have the exact same experience, but they're going to keep trying and trying. Wow, we're going to see this one a lot. And the robots just get faster, more and more frantic. Wow, yeah. Oh no, the brain ones. Oh my gosh. They turn the humanoids against you. Oh, I rescued one, but man. And then once again, get the high score in. I just can imagine the lines and lines in the arcade to play this. I mean, look how quickly you can burn a coin if you're not a very good player. You go in and play for a little bit, and then you're down that fast. Save the last humanoid family. Let's see if we can get him. This guy's on his way to work. There are robots attacking. It gets so crazy that you forget about that this kind of is a rescue mission. It's again a trope of the other game by Eugene Jarvis, Defender, and at some point you forget about the rescue because there's so much happening on screen. That's the other thing that makes this such a great title, is the amount of characters that's happening at the same time. And then those right there, the moments where you get yourself out of trouble, weaving your way through to shoot the opposite direction, you feel like you're in an action movie. So good. Oh, the homing missiles. Oh, man. Let's see if we can take them out fast enough before they start turning more. No. And then you have to blow up your own kind because they've transformed them. Every release we've seen so far this summer in the arcade, well, except Radar Zone. Minus Radar Zone, they've all been one of the best arcade games you could play. Kangaroo. Oof. Kangaroo, Moon Patrol, and Jungle King, and this is another one. This is one of the best arcade games you could play at the time. This is like a must-have in a retro arcade scene. In 1982, this would have been one that you had to have bought. Now, as far as the timeline, though, for all these being released, this one is one that possibly could have came before what we saw in Japan, but they're all really, really close. This one, though, was North America. And here on the channel, we're trying to play the first time you could check out the release. So, obviously, we're going to hear from Taito, Sega, Nintendo first from Japan, and then everywhere else afterwards. Wow. I really enjoy the animation of the explosions. Once the robot goes down, it feels so satisfying. It's like you're ripping them apart with your laser blasts. I'm in the same boat. I'm thinking Easy 5 as well. It is one of the best, if not the best arcade game you can play thus far. Wow. And the big point is the gameplay. The twin stick controls, how smoothly it responds, and how overpowered you feel in the game. And it's not overpowering where it gets boring. It's overpowering to the point that you realize that you have to work hard to get that high score and to continue to play. Oh gosh, we got to get rid of that respawner. Get away. It just makes more and more enemies. That is a trick, though, to get the higher scores, is to keep the regenerator going, the one that's circling around the screen, and then have it make more and more robots. Oh, hear the Diddy in the background? Yeah, it didn't go as high as the high score. And they have the Robotron heroes and the all-time heroes. Now, this is another title I could play and play and play and want to keep going. And even though it is alternate play, it's the draw of who can get the high score and keep the high score. Man, oh man, Robotron 2084, you are a 5-star game. The top of the top. One of the best arcade games, and I would rather not press forward. I would rather stay here in the arcades and play Robotron 2084. Oh yes, he still uses the knob, definitely. All right, yeah, thanks for popping in, Jeff Quest, for Robotron 2084. And for everybody else, I really don't want to leave the arcade, but we must press forward and see our next game. It's time to go back home on the Apple II and play the latest by Scott Adams. This is Saga number 3, Mission Impossible. What's happening is all the text adventure games, how do you make a text adventure game more impressive in 1982? Well, you slap on some graphics and make it a graphic adventure game. And that's what Scott Adams did. Let's take a look at the box for Saga number 3, or Scott Adams Graphic Adventure number 3, Mission Impossible. High res, color graphics. Take a look at that sticker, and it's a gold sticker. You can see on the front, this is called Mission Impossible. This is, again, another title that is going to go through lawsuits because, obviously, it's not related to the TV show, and they just use the name Mission Impossible. Later, they're going to call it Secret Mission, but it's the same idea. Oh, they're ripping it off big time. There it is. Actual Apple II screens at the top. This is the pretty much same game that you saw as a text adventure, but now with the graphics. It has the jam-packed disc full of programs and compressed high-resolution pictures drawn using a special palette of over 100 colors. Wow. It also has the Votrax voice synthesizer like the other ones that we've seen, where you can have the game talk to you if you want to. Yes, there is no Tom Cruise here. This is like the television show of Mission Impossible with Peter Graves. Time is of the essence as you race the clock to complete your mission. If you fail, the world's first automated nuclear reactor is doomed, so tread lightly and don't forget your bomb detector. If you survive this challenging mission, consider yourself a true adventurer. This one is like all the other stats. They give this on the Adventure International, what who's supposed to play this game, and then how long it would take. They say 1 month is average completion time for this one. Yikes. And then we also have the 5 1/4 floppy disk you'd pop in. So don't confuse this with the text only. This is an example of the screenshot. They have the graphics now with it. But we have the manual as well. So all the Scott Adams graphic adventure instructions right here with, I guess, an amalgamation of all of them, because they're going to recreate everything that he's done from the text adventure games. Very nice. And then we have the overview by Scott Adams telling you about how cool it is to be an adventurer, and it is. At this time, it's the how can I solve this puzzle? How can I work something out? It's using your head. We go from the most extreme action game in the arcade with Robotron to this, which is let's think about how do we get past this puzzle. And then they have the instructions for Apple II, how to load the Apple II, and then using uppercase and lowercase characters. And then, yes, the type and talk, because if you have the Votrax voice synthesizer plugged in, then the game will talk to you. The minimum requirements for this, you need 48K in the Atari, and what is it? It looks like, yeah, it's the same for the Apple II. Yeah, 48K memory needed to play. You got to use those high-res graphics. So how do you play a Scott Adams graphic adventure? It's a 2-word text parser like the other ones, and then it gives you some examples of words right here above my head, 1-letter commands that you can use, and then how do you turn the graphics mode on and off. They're going to give you some quick tips of buttons and commands you can play. And then they have the quick commands like north, south, east, and west, up and down, moving around. We are very familiar with this. We played, I believe, 50 to 100 text adventure games, and it's the same affair here. Not digging the airbrush art, huh? Yeah. It's what Scott Adams said, and what Scott Adams says goes. And then we also have the playing hints, because you're going to be making maps and examples of how to make maps. Wow, they're training us how to make the maps. I just had grid paper. This is fancy. And then they also have other hints to play because you will get stuck. Oh, yes. But now that we've played everything all over the world, I've seen what United Kingdom has to offer as far as text adventure games, and they are above and beyond way more challenging than anything we've seen in North America thus far. Over here is the hint books, which maybe that's why they made the game so difficult, because then the money comes from buying the hint book. And there it is. Place your order now, only $8. Get the hints. Yeah, there it is. The airbrushness. And that's all example of all the other Scott Adams games. This is number 3, Mission Impossible by Scott Adams. The beginning of June 1982. Plug in that Votrax voice synthesizer. We are not, because the game goes very slow when you do that, and we already have load times to worry about and concerned about. We are not using the voice. Oh, right, yeah, here it is. This is the open letter, which we're going to skip this time because we've already seen it twice on the show. So let's skip it. Hit Z. We're not going to hear Scott Adams talk to us through 10 screens of high-resolution graphics about how you shouldn't copy that floppy. Now it's time to play Mission Impossible. As per the use, I will be following a walkthrough, so I will not be lost, as you would be in 1982. I'm now giving the semi-1982 experience of a graphic adventure game. So here's the commands for the new Scott Adams graphic adventure game. You can turn off a lowercase and uppercase, activate voice if you got it plugged in, and then the graphic mode, reviewing text, and then how to move around in inventory. It's all here. Now let's go. Oh, really? Good to know. They're all free now. I feel much better. Do we want to restore a previously saved game? We do not. All right, so with voice input, we're going to say 0. If we did have it plugged in and we were using it, you cannot skip it. So when the screen comes up and gives you a whole explanation of text, you have to listen to the Votrax voice synthesizer say everything. So that's why we are not using it. All right, so we have the usual splash screen. This program allows you to have an adventure without ever leaving your armchair. The author worked over a year on this program, so don't copy or accept a pirated copy. But I'm very glad they did, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to do this today. Welcome to adventure number 3, Mission Impossible by Scott Adams, dedicated to Megan Adams. A minute ago, someone ran out of the room. By the way, I seem to be carrying something. This one is a blatant ripoff of Mission Impossible, the TV show, and everything else with the series of Mission Impossible, but it did not get the license for it. So we're in a briefing room. Visible items are a tape recorder, and if I hit enter, yeah, there we go. This allows you to see the screen, so you're like, whoa, I don't have to use my imagination. It's right here. All right, so what do we want to do? We want to turn on or start recorder. Oh gosh, what just happened? It went to the main screen. Okay, there we go. You turn on the recorder and it says, good morning, Mr. Phelps. That's right, Mr. Phelps. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to prevent this automated nuclear reactor from being destroyed by a saboteur's time bomb. The saboteur, who also rewired the security system, is a heart patient. He plans to suicide with the reactor. He is still loose in the building. You'll find security keys and a map in the manila envelope lying next to the tape player. There you go. All right, so what do we want to do? Let's get out of here. We're going west. And it loads up the next screen. Yeah, double check. I usually take everything with a grain of salt here on the channel, but really appreciate any comments or chats, because there's so much to every game. There's always a story to every game. What was behind it, developing, and so forth. So keep them coming. All right, so now we're in the hallway, and now we want to go south. Down the hallway. Ooh. And that is the chair we want to sit in, so let's sit down. Does it show the graphic of us sitting? Oh, cool. Yeah, it shows the screen of what we'd see if we were in the chair. All right, so we have 4 different control buttons. Okay, so we want to press red. How much trial and error did you do with this? Click. My bomb detector angrily buzzes. All right, so now let's press white. Click. There's a bright flash, and I hear something fall to the floor. I can't see what it is from here, though. My bomb detector politely beeps. All right, so let's stand up. Notice how whenever I type, it switches from the graphic back to the main screen. That is the new cool thing for adventure games, being able to switch back and forth between the graphics and the text. Ooh, nice. Okay, after we stand up, then let's take picture. Not take a picture, but take the picture off the floor. Okay, someone came in the room, he saw me and ran out. This game also has randomness, and we've seen a few adventure games do that too, where depending on where you are or what happens, you may have a different experience. But most of the time, the randomness isn't to improve the gameplay, it's more to improve the frustration, because there's things that aren't going to happen the same way every time, and they usually cause you to have to try different puzzles different ways. It's the whole idea is it's supposed to be using your head. That was what was the draw for the games. This is using brains rather than brawn. All right, so they ran out after we took the picture. Let's go ahead and go north. Make our way out of the room. That's true, the tape didn't self-destruct. Well, he didn't rip off everything. He should have, though. I mean, you might as well, right? All right, so let's wait. That's right, wait. Some time passes. In the distance, you hear a dull thud, as if someone fell or dropped something heavy. All right, so after we wait, search around using the map until you find the dead saboteur. You can find him in the gray room or in the yellow room. The exact location is random? Oh, gosh. Okay, so we need to go find this guy. Let's go back north again. Wherever he is. So we have to find someone randomly in one of the rooms. And he could be in any room. Oh, we got security cameras. Let's see if we can go north again. Oh, can't go in that direction. Okay, let's go. Let's see what we got. Exits are only south. So this is the door with the TV camera. Can we open door? Can't do that. Appears it's locked. Most doors and windows are under automated security control. A metallic voice says, "Show authorization, please." Now that'd be cool to have with the Votrax voice synthesizer. Have it actually say or sound like a robot. Okay, we'll go back down south. Can't go through that one. Yeah, if you like choose your own adventure books, you dig all these. All right, so we got north, south, east, and west. Let's go ahead and go west this time. I did enjoy how the Scott Adams adventure games allowed you to see at the top. See how it's splitting the screen up, telling you I'm in a twisting white hallway, and then shows you what exits there are. Because sometimes the adventure games just have the picture, or they'll explain one time, and the screen continues to scroll. So you have to remember. Who wants to remember the exits? All right, so we're in a twisting white hallway. We can go north, east, or down. Let's go ahead and go north. And I think this one travels around. So yeah, this is a different room now with a white door at the end. Can we open this one? Or is this one closed too? No, everything's under surveillance. So yeah, go back down south, back to the twisting hallway. And here begins the fun. Even with a walkthrough I looked up for the game, you have to wander around, possibly drawing a map, to find the saboteur that fell down, and then search his pockets and then move forward. But at this point, it's all random. So the entire game is now in the palm of whatever happens, the random gods. So there's a quick sneak peek of Mission Impossible, or the third remake of Saga. Now, this is an interesting game because the text adventure games aren't anything new, but the Saga games are something that you can you realize that they're remaking something, and that's not really popular right now. And so for that, I give it props. Of all the games you could play for the home computer, I'm going to go above average and say 3.5 stars for the Saga games. Of all the computer games you could play. As far as adventure games, though, I would say this one would be a little bit higher, but we're rating everything. All the computer games you could play, 3.5 stars for Mission Impossible. Oh, no problem. You did miss Robotron 2084, but we just finished Mission Impossible, the latest by Scott Adams. Let's see what our next game is. It's time to go to the Atari home computer, and this is Sabotage. This one was found in Softside Magazine. Here is the magazine for June of 1982. Wow. It screams role-playing, like we're going to play some swords and serpents. And then if you open up the magazine to the article, this is a type-in game, or the first time you could play it, type in until Sabotage published it. So this is what you would type in for, this is by Peter Adams in Softside Magazine. Let's type in and play Sabotage on our Atari home computer at the beginning of June 1982. Is that what it looked like, the album cover, I guess? I guess for the front. Oh, we're in automatically. Okay, so I'm playing as a dot. Very similar to Adventure. I'm wandering myself around, and the way this game works is Your mission is to destroy the enemy's main computer. The player controls a small square and moves in 8 directions, can fire in 4 cardinal directions. Each level you avoid running into walls like Berserk and getting shot by the large central laser, which continuously tracks and fires toward the player. The player shoots at least 6 yellow control boxes scattered the level, and the control boxes are only disabled for a short period of time. Then they exit on the right side of the screen to proceed to the next level until they restart. If you shoot the turret, it's disabled for several seconds, but you eventually want to make your way through the control reactor. So here I am. I am the brown dot on the side of the screen, and you can see there's a laser that's firing at me, and it can fire through walls. So it is... Let's see if we can take that out. But I got to be able to shoot enough of these green boxes. Okay, got him. So that one is out, and if I shoot enough of the green boxes, it'll open up a door that I can go to the next level. So let's see... But the turret's going to be gone only for a little bit of time. So in a way, this is another Berserk variant that you'd play. Oh, where's my exit? Haven't I shot enough? No, and the turret's back. So it is, you can see how quickly it fires. It's mad now. And that's already the game over screen. So eventually, whenever you shoot enough of the control units or the green squares or the turret, I think the turret's just to temporarily bring it down. The idea is to destroy the control squares. But look at that. Yeah, it fires through everything. It does allow me to... Can I... Oh, if you touch the walls, you die. That's right. But I can squeeze through here like this. For a type-in game, pretty good. Very, very good for a type-in game. And it has the enjoyment because it feels like you're playing another top-down shooter game. The shooting controls, though, I'm only able to shoot in 4 directions, so not as accurate as a true Berserk game. How do I actually get through the walls? Let's see if we can disable this guy. There we go. So it's temporarily down. I'm going to squeeze through some of the walls. The laser blew off, which is a nice touch. Yeah, squeezing through the walls it shot is pretty cool. All right, making our way through there. But where's the exit? They said the exit was on the left, but I don't see anything opening up. And I know I'm not supposed to touch the walls, so... Oh gosh, it's coming back with a vengeance. I think I have to stay alive and shoot more of the control panels that appear. Oh, will it not let me destroy you? What? Can I not blow you up again? Go! No, you can't. After the turret's down once, it's the temporary disable, and that's it. So now you see there's more control panels appearing. Wait a second. I blew off one in a... Oh, I do have. I don't have just the cardinal directions. I can shoot in 8 different directions. So it does have the same control as Berserk. I only can't... Can I stand and shoot? Okay, yeah. It's one shot at a time. Oh yeah, this would be a really fun type-in game to play. Of all the computer games we could play, this is, I'd say, above average for the time. Specifically because it's type-in. But because I haven't seen the next level, I don't know how much farther it's going to go. Gameplay-wise, though, even though it's just feels like 1 pixel, still plays well and is really fun. Now, the turret's down, and I want to be able to finish the control panel. Yeah, because I haven't got to the next level, I'm thinking still average 3 stars of all the computer games you could play, just because I can't confirm that this goes any further. I'm definitely not going to take down that turret so quickly, because look at this. It now just fires way too fast. If I can keep moving, I might be able to dodge. Or am I supposed to get the turret to blow a hole in the wall to go to the next level? Oh, nice. I hope we can check that one out. If you happen to know where it is or what magazine it was from, like the date, let me know, because I'm not playing every type-in game. Then we would be here forever if we're not here forever already. But we're showcasing all the ones that were either the most popular or very well done type-in games. Yeah, I'm still blowing up, but nothing's really happening. Yeah, still good for the time. I'd say for Sabotage, I'm going to give it 3 stars. A perfectly average title for all the games you could play on the home computer, and a very well done type-in game. Nice. Yeah, Compute Mag, send it my way if you can. All right, so after that, let's press forward and see our next game. Here we go on another home computer, one of the oldest home computers, the TRS-80, and this is Sea Dragon. Let's take a look at Sea Dragon, starting with the box. Now, I use the term box loosely. Some of these games were just in sleeves that would hang on racks in computer stores. And it looks like it because every time I see the hole punch at the top, I just think of it hanging on a computer store that you pulled out. Oh yes, arcade action and graphics. This is by Wayne Westmoreland and Terry Gilman. Oh, and I expect something really good by them. Oh, Adventure International, so cool. Secure all hatches, prepare to die. The creative pros who brought you The Eliminator and Armored Patrol. Yes, the Armored Patrol, the first-person shooter. Now do for submarines what Armored Patrol did for tanks. Sea Dragon is a slick, arcadish simulation that puts you in command of a nuclear sub that's armed to the hilt with deadly missiles and torpedoes. You guide your submarine past underwater mountains and through labyrinthine passages while avoiding webs of explosive mines that rise from the sea bottom. So cool. All right, yeah, I'm expecting this to be pretty cool. Oh, July 83. Okay, yep. Make sure I make note of that. Or send me an email if you can, so I don't forget that one. It is not about a sea dragon. It is about the submarine play on words as the sea dragon. Average completion time. Look at this. We went from one Adventure International game to another. This is 5 minutes compared to the 1 month we were with the adventure games. Or graphic adventure games. So there's the 5¼ floppy disk for our TRS-80, an example of the screenshot. No manual, we don't need one. Let's play some Sea Dragon at the beginning of June 1982 by Adventure International. Way to go, Wayne and Terry. I know it's going to be good. Let's boot it up. What I'd like to know, because they're doing programming for the joystick, is if this works with the joystick. Yeah, that's it. Wayne Westmoreland and Terry Gilman. No instructions. Okay, we'll just go, right? All right, so it is a 1 or 2. If you do 2-player, it's alternate play. No combination in there. If for skill level, we can do either novice or expert. There is no in between. We'll start with novice then. Yes. Oh, it is just like Scramble or Super Cobra or Fathoms 500. This is the very first time we've ever played a side-scrolling sub-shooting game on the TRS-80. We played plenty of Defender variants, but in the arcade, they took that the Defender or Super Cobra formula and converted it to being underwater. And so this is the first time you can play on a home computer underwater as a sub like this. But look at this on the TRS-80. Scrolling horizontally. And I'm using the joystick, confirm. So it is not using controls, and maybe that's why they didn't have the instructions, because the game is, you hit enter and you go. Wait, turn back on the footage. I don't think I was touching the wall that time. We need a replay of that one. Nice and easy. Oh, yeah, you have to maneuver really well. But this is great because you have the joystick plugged into your TRS-80 to play. And it's automatically shooting up and forward at the same time. Wow. How would you have to destroy the turret at the top using your cannon at the top of your ship. And it's doing what the arcades do, which is giving you the checkpoint to play. But I think now, no. After you die, that's it. They were a little generous, though. They gave us a few lives. Oh, we have to resurface. I didn't see that part. Down at the bottom. Let me see. 0. Oh, nice touch. So instead of fuel, like it did with Super Cobra and the other arcade titles, we now have to have air supply. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that is a nice touch. Going up for air. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. When we were in the arcade, I don't think Fathoms 500 did that. They didn't have an air supply meter. They were more focusing on just scrolling horizontally. All right, let's see if we can do this nice and easy. Nice and easy. Oh, oh my gosh. And they take you back to the checkpoint you had before. This is great. Playing on the TRS-80, and it feels like you're playing an arcade game. And then we got to get this turret too, because they're going to fire at us. But you can see our oxygen is going down as we go through the tunnels, and we have to find our way back to the surface. And we're probably going to have this one come up. Yep, got to back up. Set them off. Oh, yeah. So, and there it is, the oxygen. I need to get up to the top. And you can see I have a ship that's dropping depth charges here. Wow, so at first glance of what we've seen, this is a great computer game. The level design, I want to see more. I want to go farther to see if there's an end. It's not doing the levels, though. It's not showing us, like at the top of the screen, what level we've made it to. As far as progression goes, I'm not picky for that. That's something we've seen mostly in the arcades. Oh yeah, still really good. Look at that. But the sense of exploration going further, look at that. And you have to time. And they've changed it up. Now we're in the cave. We have stalactites falling down. Wow. Oh, and they have a boss reactor at the end? See, now I don't want to start over. I want to I want to be able to play and see everything all the way to the end. Don't tell me things like that, Curtis, because now I just want to keep playing. Oh, the turrets, yep. Okay, we're still in. Looks like we still have 4 ships. No, 1 ship. That was the 2 players on the other side, which we only have 1, so this is our last one. And you can use the top shot, yeah, to fire at the stalactites. Oh, man. Okay, yeah, for computer games, the gameplay is so good. It's the sense of, I want to see what's next. I want to go to the next level. It has progression. Wait, is this start? Okay, it did start at the beginning. And now I want to know, is there cheats? Is there a way we can add more lives to this game so we can play and see more of it? An excellent arcade game, and very well done with the level design. Sense of exploration as a sub is really fun. And I'm already seeing some from the chat. Is that 4 stars? Or is that 4... Because I really want to see the boss, too. And yeah, the TRS-80 continues to do that. We saw the game Armor Battle, which was essentially Battle Zone for the TRS-80. Blew my mind. This one is still well done. Yeah, I'm with you. This is one of the best computer games you could play for the time. Out of all the computer games we've seen horizontally scrolling shooters, but they weren't designed like this. Oh, I needed air, right? Yep, didn't go up for air. So they're going to start us back at the same spot. And it will involve memorization, because you notice that when we begin the game, the level plays out the exact same way. So the longer you play, you'll get used to it and start memorizing the tunnels, when to drop. So good. Oh yeah, I'm seeing in the chat. Great. Yeah, I'm with you. It's one of the best computer games. I'm thinking 4.5 as well. Again, this is another title like Robotron 2084. I do not want to stop playing. I want to keep going and see how far we can go. I mean, look at the combination. We were having to dodge the mines, the depth charges, and we can also fire at the ship on top. Oh, we can also destroy the depth charges. And then all the mines that we don't hit, you can see they come up from the bottom. So you have to prioritize what is the major target. Man, that's great. Oh, we can use our forward-facing gun to fire at the ship on top, too. It's so great. Oh, 4 at least. Very nice. Programming-wise, this is still very difficult to do. Horizontally scrolling is a treat, because the television screen is scanning top to bottom, And so this goes against the way most developers are programming the games to get the game to do this. Oh, and it got me. I knew it. Yeah, that is fantastic. Of all the computer games you could play at the time, Sea Dragon is up there as one of the best. I'm going to go with my gut, and for most of the chat, we're going to go 4.5 stars. It is fantastic. One of the best ones you could play. And no, this computer is not easy to emulate. Online, it's really easy. There's one you can play. You just click and play in the browser. To play on your home computer, though, there's several different models of the system. You also have, I have a custom DOS, or a way to read the discs that have multiple games in one. That's why whenever we boot it up, we have to find out what's on the disc, and then load the command for it. Plus, if it's in BASIC, it needs to be loaded differently. So at one point, I wasn't even going to emulate this at all because of how difficult it was to get to play in this architecture with everything else. So I found a website where they were able to help me out to break down the emulation, how to get it to run correctly, and then how to match the different Model 1 or Model 3 are the main ones they're going to use for the TRS-80. But I'm glad we did it, because this is one of the ways we were able to start and kick off the trinity of home computers back in '77 with the Apple II, the TRS-80, and then the Commodore PET. Oh yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, that's the one. Yes, that's true. You have to know which one to use, and there's one coming up that didn't work so well, and we have to do a workaround for that one. Yes, I do. There's gonna be so many commercials. When we start getting the Toys R Us commercials, I'm gonna start tearing up, because there's so many stores I went to as a kid that are that don't exist anymore. Circuit City, Best Radio Shack, things of that nature. Oh man. All right, so let's press forward and see our next game. Here we go on another home computer, the one you probably haven't heard of, the one from Japan, the Commodore Max Machine, and this is Seawolf. Let's take a look at Seawolf, starting with the box. Oh yes. Originally released in the arcades in 1976, and if you want, check the links down below. We played it. We played Seawolf way back in '76. And here we go on the home computer, the first time you can get the official Seawolf before it's released on the Commodore 64, but we don't know what the Commodore 64 is, so forget I said anything. This is a cartridge-based only system. It had other peripherals you could add later, cassette and disc and so forth, but it mainly wanted to be, you pop in a game and you play. It was going to be a game system. Let's pop in Seawolf. The beginning of June 1982, developed by Bally Midway, published by Commodore. For the Commodore, on the system that really didn't sell or go very well. Just imagine it's Japan. This new cool computer comes out, the Commodore Max Machine. You buy it, you invest time in it, you have a blast, and then just a few months later, you get Commodore 64 and you had the wrong buy. Too bad. All right, so we have our paddle controls plugged in. This one is so good to play with paddle controls. Here we go. And if you want to, you can increase the playtime down here in the bottom. But I have paddle in, playing some Seawolf. We've seen variants of this. Lots of people have tried copying it because it's essentially a fixed shooter. You move left, right, and fire. But utilizing the paddle for this feels great. You have a little bit of strategy because Seawolf has, in the bottom left corner, you can see we have torpedoes. And whenever the torpedoes run out after your force supply, you got to wait a few seconds for them to load the torpedoes up again. The other big draw for this game is over on the right side. If we had a guest with me this evening, they could play simultaneously. 2 people can be playing Seawolf at the same time, which is just like in the arcade. So this would be one of the best arcade experiences, well, from 1976, but still a really good arcade experience on your home computer. And you and a buddy could pair up and work together to destroy everything. And if you look in the front, these buoys you're supposed to avoid. You lose points. All right, did you even get any points? Let's see. Oh, I did get something. Let's see, try it again. Yeah, nothing. So you don't lose points. You just don't get anything for the buoys. They're there to deter you from shooting all the other ships in the background. And they just keep on coming. Oh, but the gameplay is so good. Love the paddle. Yeah, the scrolling's fantastic. This computer is essentially a Commodore 64 with less memory. It's not 64. It is not the 64. It is way low. But we still have the excellent sound. Yeah, for the time, this is an excellent, excellent title. The gameplay itself is a little bit simplistic, so that's why I wouldn't give this as like one of the best computer games you could play. But sound and graphic and the paddle controls, it's up there. It is a great title. And to play with two people at the same time it would be so much fun. The biggest fault though is the computer. No one's heard of this. No one plays the Commodore Max machine. That's another good point. We usually don't mention this game holds up today because we're here in 1982. We're just thinking of if in 1982 would you play and love this game? And yes, I would. You would really enjoy this. Yeah, lots of fun. And too bad we don't have a guest to show, but you can play at the same time with another person. So for Seawolf, I'm going way up there. Of all the computer titles you can play, it's not one of the best, just because of the gameplay itself, but it's an excellent game. I'm going 4 stars for Seawolf. Pair up with a buddy, it's even better. All right, another one. This is also a game we're going to be seeing very soon, later on another system. I think this is also on the Commodore VIC-20. Because Commodore is pumping out games, and they're not going to stop. All right, so let's press forward and see our next game. Here we go on the TRS-80 Color Computer. This is Space Ace. Let's take a look at Space Ace, starting with the only bit of information we got, which is from the Chronoset magazine. How do you load it? It says, give me a fly swatter. I want to play Space Ace. And this is another game that teases the name. We have lots of the games we've seen on the channel that were like, oh my gosh, this is Gauntlet. It's Gauntlet, right? No, it's not the Gauntlet you think. Oh, this is Space Ace, right? The one from the arcade? No, it's not. Oh, it's Dragon's Lair, right? We're going to play Dragon's Lair? We're playing Dragon's Lair, but it's not the Dragon's Lair you think. We're playing Space Ace, but it's not the Space Ace you think. What's a bug killer got to do with Outer Limits? The ships in Space Ace dance like flies, and they're just as pesky. You use the left-right arrow keys to move your ship, the up arrow to fire. This is a machine language program, so load with... if you load with a cassette. It loads into the screen area. The first normally is the okay, it's giving us the specs for the game. And that's it. That's all we got. So let's pop in or type in Space Ace from Seaload Magazine and Chronoset in the beginning of June 1982. Another tape magazine game. Every time I first see the title, though, I get excited. Oh, it's Space Ace! Yes! No, it is not. So we're playing Space Ace, not the one you think. I'm using the arrow keys and firing, and I can fire one at a time. Whoa, but there's a lot on screen, and it's a little more hectic than the usual space shooter. These are supposed to be represented as flies. Kind of shows the difference between type-in games. We're not playing everyone, but we try to show the impressive ones or ones to compare to other type-in titles. But yeah, a cassette-loaded game. Come on. There it is. Oh, they are speeding up, like in Space Invaders. Everything's speeding up. Wait a second, but how do I lose? They are not firing any projectiles. There's a fatal flaw to this game. Is there a way to lose the game? Or is it just shoot whenever you can? Oh, and look, it slows down so much when all the characters come on screen. That's a cool throwback to Space Invaders. I'll give it that, but that's all I'll give it. All right, so on the other end of the spectrum of home computer releases, this is a cassette-loaded game or a tape magazine game. So Space Ace, I would still say, of all the games we've seen up to this point, it's bad. It's down there with, I wouldn't say broken, because it does work, but it's just very, very slow-paced. I'm going to go 1.5 stars of all the computer games you can play for the time. That's true. They do fire as you go on, yeah. Oh, you think an average for computers? Because I'm thinking it's, of all the titles you could play, it's around the bad range of video games. At least for home computer titles. We've seen better ones out there. I'll go 2 stars. It's still in the bad range. For Space Ace. You know why I'm going to say it's bad? Because they tricked me. They called it Space Ace. Yeah, got to change the name. All right, and with that, let's see what our next game is. Here we go on the Arcadia 2001. The latest, newest home console, Space Raiders. Let's take a look at Space Raiders, starting with the box. Oh yeah. Now this one, I don't really like the front of the box. They should have been doing what Intellivision and Atari did. It's just kind of more obscure, avant-garde, if you will. I don't know what we're playing. I know we're going to be shooting things as planes, but it's Space Raiders. Why is there helicopters and planes on the front of the box? And there's the example of the cartridge, same artwork we saw before. An example of the screenshot. Oh, okay, I got you. Yep, for a magazine game, yep, it's not bad. All right, manual for Space Raiders. How do we play Space Raiders? Be sure the power is off. Then put the cartridge in, then turn the console on. And there's our overlay. Just like the Intellivision, the Arcadia 2001 has an overlay for the controller. Object of the game is score as many points as possible. Points are achieved when the space fighter destroys the mutants, flying saucers, and missile-launching bases. The player controls the motion of the space fighter up and down as well as left and right using the control disc / joystick. Now, they use the term joystick loosely, but it's very similar to the Intellivision. When controlling, sideward motion and accelerated sound can be heard, and a propelling flame will appear at the end of the space fighter. There's a digital energy meter in the upper middle portion. It starts at 50 and counts down for every space fighter. 5 space fighters, or lives, are provided, and you can destroy the mutants, flying saucers, energy bombs, and flying saucers and missiles. Oh, so you have an extra bomb mode, too. And you can re-energize the space fighter. It has to paralyze the missile-protected energy station, which sometimes appears at the bottom of the screen, by bombing 2 missile launch bases that will turn into deep blue color. That means they are paralyzed when they're deep blue. And once they're deep blue, then you can land on the space station for re-energizing, but still watching out for bombs. Oh, I got a little excited thinking you went into another area and it was another screen, but no, it is all the same. There's the example of the screenshot. Now, this manual is again photocopied. All the ones we've seen so far on the Arcadia 2001 are not color manuals. They're the photocopy black and white ones. And then how do we start the game? Turn it on, power it on. And then press the start button. You should appear as inside the blue colored bar. It's a single player game only. The space fighter will appear after pressing fire, and then the action switch located on the side of the hand controller. So this is another system like the Atari that has options and varying games. And we've seen that, but they're not doing it. And it's another system that has 2 joysticks, but they're not doing that either. They're doing a single player game and there's no game modes. It's just go in the game and play. And then they give you more tips and tricks on how to play the game. Okay, it's time to pop in the cartridge and play Space Raiders in the beginning of June 1982, developed by UA Limited and made by Emerson for the Arcadia 2001. Now, this one can get pretty loud, so let me know if in the chat if this goes too much. Let's go. It is essentially a home console version of Defender, or moving left and right, and they are doing scrolling, but they're only scrolling the base in the center. So making scrolling would be a kind of a loose way to put it. And you see the base is firing shots at us, and we essentially are able to move left, right, and fire. Let's do this. So the controls actually work okay. It's just the gameplay is... Oh, you have to watch out for the explosions. I see. To put into context, though, on the home console area, we haven't seen an official Defender. We saw another one on the Creative Vision that was very well done. Another very obscure home console. But other than that, like the Atari VCS, there hasn't been Defender brought home officially. Let's see if we can bomb this. Go, go! Okay, yep, there it is, blue, and then got it, and we should be able to recharge. You just go down, and I was hoping that they would bring us to another screen where we could go through a mission to recharge, but that's more of a home computer thing that we've seen, changing the gameplay up into 2 different modes. Oh, and we're game over. So there you go, a quick taste of Space Raiders. Of all the games you could play on a home console, I would say it's just average because of the gameplay. It is letting us play as Defender, but it doesn't have a lot of variety, and it's not really utilizing the system to its full potential. It does look nice. I like the explosions. But for everything you can play on a home console, I'm still going to go around the average range. I'll bump it up just a notch because of graphics, and the sound is pretty good for home console, but still not anything pushing above a 3.5 star for Space Raiders. All right, it's time to put our video game playing on pause this evening as we press forward playing everything in the summer of 1982. If you could go back in time to this era, how would you rate these games on our 5-star rating scale? That's it for today, and like I always say, turn off the system, put in the cartridge, turn on the system. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will